So because Facebook, decided that it wanted to take a hiatus break today, I decided we're doing Zoom because I really didn't want to cancel. So here's everybody. Hey, Debbie. So tonight, I am going to paint this cute little turkey. I talked about it a little bit earlier. He has like a little pumpkin. He's sitting inside of it with a little sign. It says give thanks, and then different patterns on his little wings. Ooh. I will make sure that I get you guys the template for him. I just didn't know how I would really fully include it because I know that the links don't really work up right in Zoom. So when I post it, I'll post the link as well for the template. So anywho.
Do you do those in block poster?
Huh?
Do you make the templates in block poster?
So I draw it on Procreate. It is sized for wreath hangers or wreath attachment size. If you want it bigger, then you would want to go to block poster and print it. And then it's a PNG, so you can pull it in if you had a laser or anything like that. It will pull in that as well. I did prime this. That's why I always have mine white. Otherwise, it would be this color, which is the MDF light color. Let me flip my camera. This is going to be a little bit weird for me, but we're going to do this. I think it's this one. All right. So I'm going to pull. Oh, I don't have this ring light on. There we go. I'm going to pull this down. Hopefully you guys can get a good view. All right. Is that good? Decent?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me see here.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I can see myself now. Perfect. Okay. So like I was saying, you can kind of see it more here. It says the give thanks. He has a cute little like wood sign that he's holding. He's inside the pumpkin and then his feathers and everything else. But it will come to life when we start painting. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'll go ahead and tell you what colors we're using. Of course, drizzle gray. You guys know that's like my go-to. We're going to use Mediterranean or Blue Bayou, sorry, navy blue. And then, of course, my greens, light foliage green, medium foliage green. Those are my go-tos as well. Pumpkin or tomato spice and honey brown. This one I love from Deco Art. It's one of my favorites. Empire Gold, Cantaloupe, and Pumpkin. Pumpkin has been starting to be my go-to just because the other orange that I typically go for, you can't find anymore. I thought we might do the letters with this champagne gold color for the letters. So with all that ado, let's get started. But one thing I'm going to show you guys today, sorry for the reach, is we're going to dry brush this sign that he's holding first. So it will look kind of like a wood sign. I just left my chip brush over here. I love the chip brushes for dry brushing because it gives that nice fake wood look. This is a brand new brush. So what I do is I like to beat the crap out of it. I want those bristles looking ugly with these chip brushes. I picked this chip brush up at Walmart. You can pick them up everywhere. They're anywhere. They're cheap. I just kind of rub it around on my palm just to kind of get it rough. The one that I typically have decided that it wanted to get all moldy and gross. like chip brushes can do. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to write, okay, come on, paint. We're going to just put a little bead of paint across our plate. You can tell I've been dry brushing today, huh? What you're going to do is just get a little bit like this. Keep going back and forth. So we barely have any on that brush, okay? Move the brushes that I broke off. And then what we're going to do is just kind of lightly, you might need a little more paint. I might have pulled off too much. We're going to just lightly go over the sign just a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing this first is so then we can cover up where we got a little over. Or if that is something that you are a little more afraid of, you can tape it or put some Post-it notes around it to help it, okay? But you should not see it, especially with the colors that we're using. Or if you wanted to, like because his little hands are going to be yellow, we can take a little bit of our baby wipe and just kind of wipe off just right where the hands would be, just to kind of help us out. Baby wipes, painter's best friend. And then I saw Rhea join. Hi, Rhea. All right, so chip brush is done. What I do is I just throw it in a Tupperware with some water in it, and then I'll clean it out a little bit later. But really, the more beat up the brush is, the better it goes for doing that fake faux kind of wood look. Can you kind of see how it distressed it a little bit? So that's all we're going to do there. Let's see. Let's just go into painting a pumpkin, right? I think we're not going to get too much paint out of this bottle. I was having to get into my stash today. Yep, there's nothing. All right, open a new bottle. The new bottles, I always like to shake them. They'll settle inside the bottle, so you'll sometimes get like really watery paint if you don't shake them real good. Put a little bit in there. I also take just a little bit of the paint and put it on my lid, so then I can kind of get a color swatch of what color it is when I'm looking through my paint tower. So just a little things I do. I'm gonna go ahead and use a 3/8 angle brush. These are the Royal Kids brushes that I really like. You can get them at Walmart. I think Walmart's changed the name to a different brand, but they're the same ones. They're still really nice. I just happen to have gotten a good stock in them, so I haven't had to get the new brand, but from what everybody says, they're just like these ones. So this is the pumpkin color. We're just gonna go right straight across. So you just take that angle brush, kind of load it right straight through and pull down, okay? Yeah, I would have went for a bigger brush here, but because we've got a lot of little small spots, I went with a little more of the smaller brush. But if you want to change, I just hate changing brushes because I hate cleaning them. That's why I just decided to go with the smaller one for right now. This one we are going to need a second coat with. This orange tends to be a little more blotchy when it dries. It doesn't, It doesn't go on real smooth, that first coat. Okay, so when we get to these small little areas, you could either go in with a detail brush or just lightly get your angle brush. You can see here, you're gonna lightly get the angle brush and just slightly move it. And that's how you can get those little spots in between without having to go to a really tiny brush like the detail brush. But if you don't feel like you have the control on it, then go down to a different brush. It takes time to get used to your brushes and your hand and stuff like that as well. And then I have a little bit of overage here, but the detail line will hide that. So I'm not going to worry about it. I used to think I had to be so perfect with it, but the detail line is your best friend. It will hide so much for you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this edge, and then I think we can go ahead and do a second coat without having to hit it with the heat gun. So how was your guys' weekend? Anything fun?
I saw the Addams Family too.
Oh, how was that? My girls have been wanting to see it.
It was, the funniest part was at the very end when, everybody does the snap.
Yes.
I've seen that many people like in the theater since COVID. So
Yeah.
even the adults, I know kids were doing all the snap. I said, oh my God, I wish I could take my camera out right now.
That is so cute. I love that.
Yeah, it was a little bit long because they do like freaking like half an hour of intros and ads, and you're like, oh my God.
Really?
Yeah. And so that's the part I hate about it. But I mean, Cassidy, liked it, and
Good.
but I think too long, with all that sitting in there waiting. She got a little bit antsy, so but it was still a cute movie, for the kids.
Yeah. Good.
So they have a bunch more coming out, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then some for next year.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
It's good to see things kind of getting back to normal.
Oh yeah, we hope. That's
I
the
know,
goal.
right?
What is normal these days?
I don't even know anymore.
I'm not normal, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'm definitely not. We all know that though. All right. So that is done. I'm going to shade it just a little bit to make that pumpkin look a little more plump. Plate. We're going to grab just a little bit of the median here. Put that on there. I've been painting up a storm today, so we got stuff everywhere. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of the cantaloupe down, and then I'm just going to use off of the orange of the pumpkin orange here. I am not going to switch brushes. I'm just going to keep it the long brush here. This brush is shedding. It's a new brush, and it is shedding so bad. Okay. All right, a corner edge pumpkin, and then lighter orange, the cantaloupe. You're going to kind of see my ombre here, so I'm going to move it here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. We're going to just pick up just a little bit of medium. That just makes it more pliable. We're going to go right here, right where our edge of our pumpkin is. See how that makes it nice and like gorgeous, juicy, plump look. And I mean, it literally takes no time to do that. Just a few little brush strokes and you're good.
So what does the medium do?
The medium just makes it so it's not as dry. It makes the paint just a little more wet and pliable.
Instead of water.
Yeah, I used to use water a lot because I was like, well, I don't want this medium to like take forever to dry. It really doesn't. And I love the feel of it more than the water. It took a long time to convince me to do it, but I'm glad that I finally moved over.
And the medium can make the paint thicker.
Yes, it can make it a little bit thicker too. This one is the thinner type. There's one called a thick medium, and that will make it thicker.
Yeah.
This one makes it watered down.
I have a medium, but it's mostly because, well, I've been painting on canvas and I don't want it to dry.
Yes, yep. And that's why you use it a lot too, is because
Right. Well, I went to the tube paint, artistry tube paint.
yeah, same concept in a general is you want it to stay wet so it doesn't do that drag brush. When I'll tell you, oh, I've run out of paint, or there's not enough, or my paint's starting to dry, you'll kind of see it go like it's kind of just blotchy, and it's not a nice smooth, like you can see there, it's really smooth. There's not blotchiness to it. It shadows really well. I'll show you what I mean about a drag when I get painting a little bit further in, and I'll show you what I mean.
So you don't get like that water line, like if you were to use water, sometimes I call it the water line, which you have to make sure because all the water seems to travel to one side when you're trying to do.
Oh,
That,
you've got too much paint on your brush. It gives like a little, it's kind of chunky around the edge. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, you've got too much paint on your brush.
No, like if you do the edge or the out, and then as it fades in, or to be lighter.
Yes. Yeah, so it kind of makes that watercolor shading look.
Yeah.
Yep. That is why we do that.
Yeah.
Yep. But if you didn't have the medium or use water, it would kind of give like a chalky brush stroke to it. It wouldn't look as smooth, watery, and flowy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It would basically look like the dry brush. Like how this dry brush looks. That's what it would kind of look like. Okay, I'm going to use clear gold, but we're just using it a little bit. So I'm going to just use it out of the lid. Maybe. Guys, I got to stock up on paint. I'm getting going all into the reserves today. I'm going to go down to a 1/4 angle brush. We will get his little hands. So when I'm doing this, I'm just taking my fingers and my wrist and moving it like that, okay? Not truly using the wrist too much. It's more in my fingers to make that nice curve, that nice smooth. Cheryl, I didn't realize that you went full over to canvas. That's pretty cool.
Well, kind of. I haven't. We had such a hard time finding wood.
Yeah.
And no more than I sell, because I'm not really putting it out there. I really didn't want to put the expense into what I could find.
Yeah, I agree.
And Michael's has really nice deals on canvas and canvas boards. So I just started painting on canvas.
I love it. That's fun.
Of course, I
Canvas is a
know.
little bit different, but I mean, it's still the same. It's
I
still
mean,
fun.
I'm no Picasso, and I'll probably have to be dead 200 years before my stuff's famous. But I just do it for the relaxation.
I think painting is super relaxing. I know some people are like, oh, it stressed me out. I find it very calm and relaxing. But I know that if you are, very perfectionist type and stuff like that, it could get a little bit more hard on you because, painting's not always easy. There's a lot of blending. Sometimes your paint doesn't go on so smooth and different things like these hands that used to drive me nuts because can you see how they're really blotchy? And I'd be like, what did I do wrong? Well, you just put a second coat on and it goes. I'm going to throw on the heat gun. I don't know how loud it's going to come across on the Zoom, so.
Can't even hear it.
Mm-mm.
Good. My heat gun's pretty quiet, but I always get nervous when you throw it on because you know how mics tend to sometimes amplify sounds more so. And then just another reminder, I know I say this all the time, but make sure that when you are using your heat gun, to keep it on that low setting because it will bubble your paint. And then it's not easy to fix. All right. I always feel like that second coat always goes on so much faster too.
Agreed.
Carolyn, I'm so excited you're going to be with me in my car.
You may not be too excited.
No, I need people to talk because like if I don't have talkers, I go to sleep. I shouldn't say go to sleep, but I get bored driving and I'm like, so.
Yeah, well, Michelle's the talker. Diana is the
okay. Okay with me.
Michelle's the talker, Diane's the listener. I'll be the peacemaker.
Perfect.
Not the peacemaker, but the one in between, maybe.
Well, we got Jean Bunker and her other friend, and Jean's fun. I like Jean.
Now, are we leaving it at 11?
I'm not sure.
Oh, because I know the post said, they don't want to leave no later than 11.
Yeah.
Because she said her flight gets in at 10. I said, girl, you better hustle.
Yeah.
What time does your flight come in? 9.
Say, I'm coming in on Wednesday, so it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Either way.
I'm going there.
I'm gonna grab my pliers real quick because this brush just keeps shutting. Hold on. I guess this is something good I can show you guys too. You're having a hard time with your new brush and it's shedding a lot, by meaning your bristles keep coming out. Sometimes they just haven't pushed this good enough. So if you take your pliers and kind of just push down, it really will help with that shedding. Yeah, I'm not getting it anymore. Okay. I'm cleaning the brush and I can just see these coming out. I'm like, normally these brushes, I never have a problem with these ones. So
I have a brush that I've had since between 1989 and 91. I just cannot get rid of it. It's like the paint is all off the handle. It's just one of those brushes. I was like, I go out and I buy new brushes that I think are going to be just as good. And I'm like, oh, I like my old brush.
There's just a go-to one. Yeah. And it just feels right in your hand. Yep. I know. I have one that I finally got rid of. I mean, it was like literally shedding everything.
No painting?
Like, okay, fine. Like, what?
Did you forget painting?
So this is the honey brown, just FYI. This is the Americana, Deco Art Americana paint. I don't mind Deco because some people think that I hate it. And I'm like, I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite because a lot of their paint, I feel like you have to do 2 coats with. There's not very many that are one and dones. And I feel like sometimes their paint goes on a little more blotchy, but they do have a really good color selection. And some colors you just can't find. But, you know, same can be said with the Delta Ceram Coat that I like to use too. And I like Ceram Coat because it's a thicker paint. Americana paint is a little bit more thinner. Apple Barrel is definitely more thinner, but it's definitely cheaper too. So I'm just a person that I hate doing a ton of coats. So the sooner I can get this painted, the happier I am. Because then you get to go paint something else.
Hey,
Okay.
since I know this is a painting class, but if you guys notice my name on here, it says Carolyn Delisle, hardworking mom, HWM. I have no clue how that got on there.
You can go into your profile and change your name.
In Zoom.
Probably one point when you were putting in your HWM as your, you know how you have to put HWM in to
Right.
get in.
For the password,
You probably were on your name and typed it in and then hit enter, and then it went over and asked you again and you typed it again and hit enter. So you probably were just in the wrong place and did it by mistake.
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me several times.
Yeah, I was like, I noticed it the other day and I was like, wait, that never used to be there. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it will usually if you fix it, it will save it again and remember it, but sometimes you have to fix it a couple times before it will keep. All right. Well, we can kind of see our turkey little buddy popping out now, right? He's coming to life on this white piece of canvas we got going on, right? Canvas
Yes.
wood. I haven't come up with a name for him. What should we name him? All of my guys have names.
Hmm.
I know.
Hmm.
I have one turkey that's already named Jack, so we can't name him Jack.
Oh gosh.
If that's what you were going for.
No. Hmm.
I need Susan. Sometimes Susan comes up with the best names. Sometimes their names just like come right to me. And like other times, nope, not at all. There it is. That out.
Let's see. I think when you put them all together, I can maybe pick
We'll
one
get a name for him. All right.
because they come to life.
They do, don't they? I love how they pop. Like right now, he's starting to kind of show his cuteness. All right. Oop, I went over. It's You're just gonna fix it. He's gonna have a little bit smaller of an eye. No biggie. It happens. Just roll with it. Happens to the best of us. So I always try and let you guys know, hey, I messed up right here. But it's okay. We'll just keep going. No biggie. Okay, he is good. You have him nice and brown. Now that's that honey brown, one of my absolute favorites to use. I feel like it's just a perfect all the time brown that you can use. There's
Wait,
certain browns. What?
Sorry, this turkey's a boy.
Yeah, he's got a gobbler.
How about Bernard?
Bernard.
Brave, which means brave as a bear. Because
There we
turkeys are
go.
brave.
We can do that. He can be a Bernard.
I'm looking up best turkey names is what I'm looking at.
I love it. All right, I'm gonna go into tomato spice. I'm just gonna use the lid again. We have this and like his little gobbler or whatever thing you want to call it. A gizzard, gobbler, what are those things called?
Gizzard?
I don't know what they're called.
Wait.
Waddle? Wobbler? Waddle? I don't know.
Oh my God.
You can totally tell I am not.
Up for you, since I'm on what are turkey's best names, I'm sure they have that. Isn't it a gizzard?
I
No.
thought so. But then I thought, isn't the gizzards their insides? I don't know.
I don't need that stuff inside.
I don't either. I think it's gross. But I know some people that do, and that's totally cool for you, but not for me. I'd gladly let you have mine.
A waddle.
Waddle, there we go.
Wattle. It's the flap of skin under the turkey's chin that some people may call a dewlap. Dewlap.
It's called a waddle. I like that name better.
Oh, just name a waddle. Waddle.
There we go.
It's more pronounced in males than females. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
would.
what I thought. I thought that mostly males had them.
I don't know. I lived
Well,
in
I
New
thought
York.
all males had them, but
We didn't have turkeys around where I lived.
I just ate them. That was it. I ate them
That's
for. That's it.
I have to tell you a funny story. When I first got married and our first Thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
I did not know all that stuff was stuffed in the turkey in plastic bags. And
Oh
all.
no.
So I cooked the entire turkey with all that stuff inside.
Oh
And my
no.
parents had come for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we went to cut it. And I was like, what is this? And my mom said, did you not take this out? I said, what is it? She goes, it's the neck and the liver and all. I said, oh my God, how gross. She goes, didn't you clean the turkey? I said, well, I put it in the pot in water, like you did, but I
Yeah.
didn't know you have to stick your hand inside. And that just grossed me out.
That would, I know, right? Well,
But-
we always just buy like the half a turkey, so I've never had to like go full turkey.
Oh, I think it was also because I was pregnant with my twins at the time.
Oh yes, that would do it.
Certain thing I could eat chicken or turkey if it was already cooked.
Yeah,
the
I
raw
couldn't do raw meat. Yeah.
I couldn't, just to look at it raw. I was just in the bathroom
And
getting
the
sick.
smell of it cooking, I didn't like the smell of it cooking either. I had to be in a whole nother room.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. And then with my son, I couldn't, it was just dinner time,
Mm-hmm.
cook dinner, and I would sit out in the carport and eat dinner out there on my kid's little table all by myself because I could not stand the smells in the house of dinner. It was just weird.
Yeah, I was funny with food and textures, like anything kind of like slimy. Like I couldn't do yogurt anymore.
Mine is
cheese.
milk. I can't do milk.
Milk.
After the girls, I couldn't do milk anymore. I mean, if I have to drink it, I'm okay. It's not like I'm going to puke my guts out or anything.
Yeah.
But I mean,
prefer
I don't.
not to.
Yeah.
It took me a long time. I got sick on Greek food. Well, I shouldn't say sick. Like I started having contractions and then it made me sick. Because with
Oh.
my oldest, I had belated labor with her, where basically you're in labor, but you won't dilate. So you have full labor contractions, but you just hang out. I was like that for like 2, 3 weeks, and they kind of go away and then they'd start up again. And then they couldn't give me anything to stop them because I was too far along. So anyways, it was misery. And anywho, I was eating some Greek food and contractions started and
Mhm.
nothing stayed down. We'll just put it that way, the polite way. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the medium full or light foliage green. And we're gonna do these two. And they have polka dots. I don't know if you can see it popping through on the camera or not. Okay. I think I'm gonna go back to that 5/8 angle brush again, just so we can get some good coverage again. All right, medium foliage is another one of my favorites, but it is also, you do have to do 2 coats on this one. I just love it. It's like that mossy in between green. It's one of my go-tos. You'll always probably hear me saying I'm using it. So my husband rented an excavator this weekend. And we're just going to, so our backyard kind of cliffs off into a creek, or what we thought the creek was like right below the cliff drop off, okay? And I'm thinking, yay, I don't have that big of a yard, because my Chicago yard was insanely huge and it ruined me on ever wanting to do yard work again. I cut down 12 trees and it was like you would never even known that I had cut them down. It was just a huge yard. And they planted way too many flower beds. So it took a lot of time and TLC. And my husband, when we were living in Chicago the first year, he broke his leg December 2nd, hanging up Christmas lights.
Oh my
And
God.
did not walk and with a cane, even with that, until May 3rd. So I had a lot of responsibility of that yard to do all on my own when we bought it. And so anyways, long story short, it burnt me out on ever wanting to do yard work again. So he's like, I'm going to clean up, because we had tons of weeds. I mean, they were probably as tall as us. Sorry, guys. And anywho, he starts taking the excavator down there, knocking down all the weeds, and he's like, the creek's not here. I don't see the creek. Where's the Dean Creek? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, I thought that they said that our property kind of ran into the creek a little bit. And I'm like, I thought so too. So we get digging, or he gets cleaning it up. Oh my gosh, I have a yard that I did not know I had, and kind of just secretly don't want. The kids are all excited because they're like, yay, we have room for our trampoline now. Because I got rid of their trampoline that's haunted my life forever. And so now now they're like, we get a new trampoline, bonk, to my head. And so anywho, I mean, it will be nice, but I'm just like, great. More work. Yay. So everybody's excited but me.
That's like this year we hired people to fertilize, because with my husband Parkinson, sometimes he forgets things.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, can we just hire them to like weed too? Because I'm getting too old, you know.
Oh,
So I
I
was like,
hate weeding.
Well, it's funny, we get weeds in the front of the house, but not in the backyard. It's the
Uh-huh.
weirdest thing. They don't grow back there, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
You're like,
so
I'm not complaining.
I know, but so this summer I left it up to him, and there were some more weeds that became bushes and stuff. So I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna hire the people, and they came out. Well, they literally wanted $660. I went, are you guys out of your mind?
Oh.
You know, that's just crazy. So
Yeah.
every day because it's been hot, every day we work in a couple of hours, because I mean, we'd be dripping in sweat out there.
Oh, yeah.
So 95% of it's done. There's just one section, and we keep avoiding that one section because it has these things that came this past 2 years, of these little vines that grow in the ground. It like jumps a leaf and implants another root, and then keeps going and keeps going. And it's like a little raspberry or strawberry thing.
Now you're in Virginia?
Yeah.
Yep. I think I know exactly what you're talking about because we were ripping those down.
Oh my
They were
God.
everywhere in the creek. All
And it
up
was
on these big oak trees or maple trees. We had maple. And then we had a lot of wild honeysuckles in the back too. So
Yeah, I got honeysuckle out front, but I've kept it just as a round little bush, to bring in the hummingbirds by our
Yeah.
little pond and all. But these stupid things are like, it's like crazy.
yeah.
And I'm like, why did you guys just appear out of the blue the last 2 years? And so this spring, he, let us, him and me, we don't live in the house, to
Yeah.
eat all the garden, and they mulch it. We've been mulching, we've been here 24 years. So for the last 23 years, we've always done the mulch. I said, please, can we? Because, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay. And we loved it because it really did cut down. They put a really thick layer on. And
Oh, good.
so I wanted
That's the key to it. That's what I found even with our Chicago house, because I swear I would weed, and then 2 minutes later there were more weeds there.
They were,
It was insane. And so and out here, I didn't realize, maybe you guys do it there too, that they use pine needles as ground cover, like as
yes.
mulch.
Yes.
Yeah, they did that. I never seen that until I got out here. Because like Chicago, we didn't do it. Like it was the mulch, like the bark.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something different for me, because then living in Utah, it was bark too. So I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, I wish I would have known that. Shoot. There's a couple of places I would have gladly put it.
We learned that when we moved to Georgia. I mean, because Florida didn't, I guess Florida did use it in a point, but most of them had mulch. But Georgia, that was a big thing in Georgia.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. And up here in Virginia, people do it, but at least where I live, everybody mulches. You don't see needles.
Even though mulch. Yeah.
So
okay, hitting this again with the heat gun. So this darker green is that medium foliage green. These two I feel like really complement each other because they're in that same green palette. Now, if you didn't have the other greens, you could darken it out by adding some black to it, and that would darken your green just a little bit for you. Play with your color palette. I typically don't play too much. I just buy the paint, but there are times that it's just I don't have that right color that I'm looking for. So playing with the paint to get that right color, I will do. Little white, little black, mix it all together. You'll get what you need. Now, I could have used a planter for this too, or a dauber, or whatever you guys want to call them. I just decided to put the circles on when I drew it. but if you didn't want them, you could always paint over it and do your own thing. Grab this.
You know, when you said you messed up with his one eye, I'm looking at him and I think it gives him character. It almost gives him that look like he has one eyebrow, what would be one eyebrow up and one down.
Yep. I kind of had that anyways with him, but now it definitely accentuates it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I said sometimes just go with it. I mean, I could have fixed it. I could have grabbed a baby wipe, kind of wiped it up, but it's one of those things that I'm like, I'm not going to mess with it too much. Okay. Next one we're going to do is Blue Bayou right here. Blue Bayou is another one of my favorites. It's kind of in between like a cobalt blue and a darker navy blue. It's kind of like that in between shade. It's a really fun color. I like to use. It's one that I really like to use for the 4th of July because it's that bright. Okay, so back using the 3/8 angle tonight. So we're rounding and then pulling through. Now, I know I've gotten this question before from people, so since I have you on here, when you get too much paint, see how there's a little clump right there? What you can do to kind of make it go away, it takes a little bit of time, but you'll just kind of keep going back and forth, and you'll slowly be able to get that paint clump there. And what it is I just added too much paint to the tip of my brush. And so when I pushed, it pushed all of the paint back out. So now, if you look, there's very little of a bead of it. And it will give you that clean look without having a big clump. It happens to everybody when they get starting. Like I said, it still happens to me sometimes. Just not paying attention to where your paint's at. And it's a trick to learn to load your brush the way that you need it. You get there though. Just takes time and practice. And sometimes getting new brushes too, you have to learn those new brushes.
It's a pretty color blue though.
Isn't it pretty? I love it. It's like I said, it's in between a cobalt blue, I feel like, and like a navy blue. It's like that right pretty in between. And it's called Blue Bayou. I think this one you can pick up at Target. Just FYI. I know you can pick it up at, Hobby Lobby and Joann's too. Well, certain Joann's, because like I said, I learned very quickly that not all Joann's are created equal. And the Joann's that I had in Chicago versus the one I have here, definitely lackluster.
It's like going to a Dollar Tree store.
Right? I know. I have not found a good
Walmart.
one.
Even a
yet.
Walmart, or Target. Target's like a super Target compared to, I don't know, not a super Target or whatever. It's like everybody says, "Oh, look what I got at Walmart! This sign and this sign." I said, "I don't have any of that." And I have to, you drive around to different Walmarts or whatever, trying to find it, and you're like, "Good God!"
Yep. I know. I have not found a good dollar store yet down here. I found another one off of the beaten path. We took the wrong exit to go to the UPS store today, and I found one off of the beaten path, well, our beaten path. of where we typically go. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I found that sometimes your dollar stores that are in the like really populated areas always get picked over really fast and you don't get anything. And then if you get too rural, they don't have stuff either. They'll either have a ton or they have nothing. My favorite ones, to be honest with you, are like the not so nice areas. Those are my favorite ones to go to because they have everything. Just be safe.
Yeah.
I am going to grab just a smaller brush real quick here for in between this little spot right here. Grab this. I'm not trusting myself with getting that spot. I can feel myself getting a little shaky, so not going to do it today. All right. Blue Bayou, like I said, one of my favorite colors, and you want to know what else of why I love it? It is a one and done. It covers so beautiful that first coat that you just have to put one coat on. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Like you can see, get that, like no splotches, no nothing. Isn't that pretty?
Now each feather gonna have any
Stripes?
all just or
The red I'm gonna leave plain up here. But this one is gonna have stripes on it that go up. And then these ones are gonna kind of be like a black and gray checker print. Kind of what I'm going for. I thought about doing white and black, but I wasn't loving it. That brush is too thick. We'll just go with this liner one. Woo. So this is navy blue that we're using next. So same kind of palette color. Like I said, this one was that in between a cobalt. The Blue Bayou is in between a cobalt and a navy blue. So now we're at navy blue, and you can kind of see that difference in this blue. But it makes a really good accent piece for it. It gives it just a different tint, but you can tell that it's still in that same palette color. That's what I really wanted. Not enough to throw, have too many colors going on and make it really busy, but enough that you could see a little bit of a difference kind of going on. Okay, and oh, I forgot to tell you, this is a number 1 liner brush. I use a 1 liner brush a lot for my detail brush when I'm doing door hangers because it gives that thicker line. So if you were painting a little bit bigger, this would be my more of a go-to that I would use for that.
I just pick whatever brush I feel like using for it.
I know, I kind of am that way too. I've learned though, what are my more go-tos? And some people are very like, what brush are you using? What brush are you using? So
Yeah.
that is why I tell you guys all the time what I'm using. I think some people just get in their heads maybe a little bit too much, and until they start really painting and getting secure with themselves, it's nice to know.
It's true.
I mean, I'm self-taught, so I did not.
Well, I learned, a friend said, hey, you want to go, she knew, we called it toll painting, which is
Yeah.
basically, back in the 90s. And so she taught me.
Uh-huh.
And so that's where I have learned. And of course, watching, people, like you or other friends or,
Yep.
whatever, just over, the years and doing things. But it
Yeah.
also depends on the picture. I did back then, the toll painting was more serious,
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
Then,
My mom and my aunts used to do it.
yeah. So, but then I went to embossing and watercolor,
Uh-huh.
that too. So I like painting on the wood mostly.
I do too. It's kind of where I like to stay. I used to
Yeah.
do like the Mod Podge and you put it on there and paint a little bit, just dress the edges. That was like what the most I was like, that's the most I know how to paint. And then started playing around one day and like, I can make the sign. And before I knew it, I was a painter.
Mhm.
All right, we're going to drizzle gray again. So I used it here, but we're going to use it here again. Yeah, we probably need a little bit more than that. Okay. And that's a new bottle, and I did not mark it. There we go. You get this brush cleaned out. It has a bunch of Blue Bayou in it.
So did you get all
See that you
stuff
have to-
ready? Oh, sorry.
What?
Did you get all your stuff ready for the retreat?
I did, and then we ordered some more for the virtual, but Lori was sending those out sooner. So I
Mhm.
gave up on some of the signs that I had already had prepped for then. So now we got to cut a few more.
Gotcha.
But it shouldn't be as bad as how many I had before. And the paint roller, a foam paint roller, when you're painting that many, whew, it was amazing. Became my best friend. And
Now,
I
should
would,
we bring paintbrushes to the retreat?
if you want to bring your paintbrushes, I would say go ahead. We are providing one paintbrush that I think are pretty decent. I wouldn't say they're amazing.
Well, yeah,
They're
you
pre-
could lot to buy.
they're pretty decent ones. So you will be getting that one. But I was actually pretty shocked when I got them. I ordered them and I was like, let's see what they are, kind of thing. And we'll kind of go from there. And I was actually pretty impressed with how they were.
Gotcha.
But if you want to bring your own, go for it. We're not doing too much. It's pretty basic.
Right.
Well,
not a painter, so
yeah. If you want to add extra stuff, then I would maybe suggest using, getting a detail brush or something like that to bring. But we have paint pens and stuff like that. So
okay.
If that answers your question.
It
All
does.
right. Another reason why I love my drizzle gray is it is also a one and done. It covers really, really well. Can't beat that. Love the one and dones. Throw that back in here. Wait, not, want not.
So here's a question for you. Your little palette that you have there.
Mm-hmm.
So mine is, what is it, from 1989? I still have it.
These
So
come
after
from the dollar
black-
store.
Oh, well, mine, I don't even know if dollar store was invented back in my time.
Gotcha.
But I still have it. So do you find the paint, even though after each, like when you're finished, I know you go wash it, some of the
Yeah.
paint stays in there. So how would you get it out?
I soak it in soapy water. It's funny that you asked because Haley was literally cleaning them for me before I came. My kids love to get it.
Uh-huh.
So I'll let it soak, and then like if it has clumps, we'll just kind of pull it and then put it
Right.
on a paper towel so it doesn't go down your sink and clog up your sink. And it comes right off. Just let it sit on some hot soapy water for a little while. Comes right out. Just kind of, I just kind of like take my thumb and move it around a little bit.
Yeah.
The girls love to pull on it though and pick it. They think it's the coolest thing ever. So I'm like, hey, look what I got. They're all excited. And I'm like, sweet, I don't have to deal with it. All right, I'm going to use this one liner brush again. And we're going to write the letters real quick. So first little one, we're going to go right here. And the letters are edged out on here. If you were a little bit intimidated of handwriting, I would definitely suggest you can either print out your words and have them, and then you can carbon copy them over for yourself. You can also use chalk, and that will give you a nice way to wipe it off. You'll just let it dry for a second. Oh, I got gray right there. I'll have to wipe that off. And that will give you another way of being able to write, you know, before painting and possibly messing it up a little bit. But those are the ways that I would suggest if you're trying to first learn to write of doing. I know a lot of people get intimidated of writing first until they get used to it. I'm going to come back with a smaller brush for right there. I'm not going to worry too much about this because, like I said, I am going to throw glitter on these words. So I'm not going to worry too much about coverage. We're just kind of wanting to get a base coat down for the glitter. There we go. So also another thing is when you're going up, kind of lift your brush a little bit more. That's going to give that thinner stroke and make it look more flowy. So down, it's going to be thicker. And then when you go up, it's going to be thinner. And that's a lesson to learn even when you're trying to do the cursive writing and make the thicker parts for your cursive. Down, thicker, up, thinner. And that took me a long time to realize when trying to kind of do that cursive. Sorry, I get quiet when I do handwriting.
Yeah, that's the only thing with paint. You got like get so into it, you forget, you know.
It really is. I think I can get so into my head that I forget about just about everything when I get painting. So it's taking me a while to learn to teach and paint at the same time. Sometimes I have better days than I do others. Okay. I'm going to go back in with just a little bit thinner of a brush here just to get this little part because I did not like my brush for that spot. Okay. So we have that. We get to start doing some black and start doing the outlining. See, I'm a little bit over on time. So totally understand if you guys need to leave. But if you want to keep watching, we'll keep on painting. All right, so we're going to do these checks now. So I'm just going to go in. Still using that one liner brush.
Fun doing something like this, like I call it like a little bit on the whimsical,
Uh-huh.
is that like you were talking about before about being perfect. It doesn't have to be, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're doing whimsical. I think even in nature though, I mean, nature is not perfect, you know? So it is okay to kind of have things a little bit off and everything else. But I paint a lot more whimsical. That's kind of my thing. It's my go-to a lot. There's some people that paint a lot more realistic. Iveth Wright, she is a phenomenal sign maker.
Oh yeah.
And her stuff is phenomenal. Her shading is amazing. That woman is incredibly talented. And her whimsical is whimsical, but it's also like very beautiful at the same time. I love it. Please don't think I'm dissing because I think she's amazing.
Oh no, I when I was at Wreath Makers Live, I bought a couple of her things that she had, and it's just,
and her mannequins, amazing. I can do mannequins. I've done them for you guys. It's just not my forte. I don't love it. You know, I could do it. I feel like I could probably get better at it, but I didn't love it. And I feel like you got to love what you're doing.
yeah.
You got to have some passion.
I just don't know, with as much detail that she, like for instance, she does on some of her things, how she puts out so many.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be like,
I know that she batches, and I do know that she gets a lot of help. So a lot of people will do like the block work for her, and then she just does the detailing. And I do know that's how she can get so many out, because I do know that she has a lot of help. But batch working, if you've got a lot to do, definitely. I mean, that's normally how I paint my signs. When I do these one-offs, it's funny because I usually always pull too much paint and everything else because I'm used to working in larger amounts of time or of things. So I basically assembly line and paint all of this. I'm just going to go in with this one liner brush because I'm lazy and I don't want to switch brushes. So like I said, you're using more of your fingers than your wrist. If you're using your wrist, you're going to wear it out and you're going to end up hating life by the end of the night if you're painted a long time. Leave your wrist for the long strokes if you can, but most of the time, try and use your fingers as much as you can. All right, there's our little friend. Let's get some detailing going. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my paint. The reason why I do that is because it makes it a little bit more pliable. And you don't get as much drag with your paintbrush with that liner when you're using the liner brush. I am now using a 0 liner. And we're just going to go right in. kind of follow our little lines. I don't like to go straight to the edge. I'll go a little bit close to it, but I don't go right to it because it gives it your sign a little more dimension, in my opinion. Now, when I'm in between things, now that's on the outer line is when I go right, don't go right there. But when I've got them over gapping each other, I will go straight on the line for it. I'm gonna just hurry and get right here. Because we're doing such small strokes, I didn't have to keep going back for more paint. Now remember, when you are doing lining brushes, or when you are doing lining, you are going to have to go back a lot more to get paint because you're working with a small brush. It's not going to hold as much paint.
Do you find it easier to do one side or as compared to doing this side and then going to the other side or back?
Yes, if I do that, I will normally get paint all up and down on my side because of how I'm working. So I typically try to do, like right here is going to kind of suck for a second because I should have painted the inside of him first and then did the outside. So then I'm not as likely to drag my hand across the paint. See that little gray spot right here? That was caused because I had taken the gray and rubbed my hand down and it had gotten on my arm. I like adding little zigzags and stuff like that. I know other people like doing little dots or little dashes. It's just kind of my little signature. I feel like it kind of gives a little more movement to things, but you can also just keep going straight with your lines as well. I'm going to add just a few little zigzags here because I think we need them. All right, before I go over on these feathers, I'm going to come in here and get right here. So I'm not reaching too far. See, and then this is where I said his eyeball, we can kind of fix where I goofed up. And then you don't see it as bad.
Gives them character.
It does. Like I said, don't be perfect with painting. It is okay to kind of go a little bit outside of the lines. If you have a little goof up, I'll show you with this little gray spot right here what I'll do. I know I said I was going to wipe it up, but a lot of the times if I have a goof up, I'll show you how I fix it. And nobody ever knows. That's what's funny. I think it's so funny. Everybody's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yep, I stopped telling people where my goofs were. I only tell you guys.
That's the same with wreaths when you run out of mesh and you're like, I'll add this one in. And as long as you don't say anything, people don't know.
Exactly. Nobody knows.
Just, as fine as with it, if it was all this same color or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I used to do that too. Like, say you had a white and red snowball and you miss your, off by one little piece. I just cut red mesh and throw it in there. Just kind of put it in one of the spots where, like, your bow goes or something.
Right.
So it hides it a little bit more. Yep, I used to do it all the time. All righty. He needs a little swishy, I think, right there. Okay. coming to life. That's for sure. I caught a glimpse of him on the camera. I'm like,
So do you
"Oh,
pre
he's
one
cute."
before you teach the class?
Yep.
So how do you
I've
come up with your
drawn out. I used to draw pen and paper, and then Lori finally convinced me to start using Procreate and do digital drawings, which helps a ton. But it took a long time for me to get used to drawing digital. I'm better at it. I will definitely say that, but I still struggle at times. This one was all a digital drawing. So he came right off of the iPad. And then I save him as a PNG. And then my laser likes PNG files. So then we convert it over into a cut file for my laser. And we tell the laser how we want it cut. And it cuts it. Same like my CNC. When I had my CNC, it did the same thing.
Cool.
A CNC, if you don't know what a CNC is, because some people don't, it is like a router. So like the wood router tools and stuff like that. It's like that, but it's put on basically a table board, and it cuts and programs because there is a little robotic arm that moves it around and it cuts.
Mhm.
Kind of like the Cricut, but instead of the sheet moving, the Cricut itself moves back and forth. But
Gotcha.
so it's like a big Cricut on steroids. Same with my laser, but my laser now is a laser. It's not a router, so it burns through the wood. So it's fun. New toys are fun. A lot of learning, but they're fun.
I just got
CNC,
a laptop and man,
uh-huh.
even
The
though it's same,
CNC was a lot of learning for me. It kicked my butt big time. I was so intimidated to get the laser because of that. But it ended up being fine. So here is what we're gonna do to fix our little goof up. We're gonna add a little swooshy right there. And nobody's gonna know. And we'll add another little swooshy, kind of like right here that matches him. And then you can see how it kind of complements it. And you can't even see that gray of where I screwed up. Now you guys are all gonna check out my signs and be like, where'd she screw up?
we're the perfectionists.
We are. And I think we're the most critical to ourselves, where others are not going to see it. You see it, you see the flaws and everything else. It's taken me a long time, and still I'm still practicing what I'm preaching, but it does get better. Okay, we are done outlining. Woohoo! We're gonna throw a little bit. Actually, I take that back. I'm sorry. These squares need just a little bit of help. I looked at them and I don't love them. So what I'm gonna do just to fix these is I'm just gonna run the liner brush on these and just kind of square them up a little bit more. I know probably from your guys' angle, you're not seeing it. From mine, it looks a little bit like a hot mess. So, see, perfectionist, pops out a little bit. Lori was laughing because Lori offered for her workers to paint the rails for me. And so this goes to tell you my perfectionist. I couldn't relinquish the control to give it to him because I was like, no, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. No,
Yeah,
I'd
well,
rather I do it.
it's like your reputation, it's hard to,
Exactly.
like, I'll ask my husband to, hey, can you just sand the corners and do this, help me? And he'll
Yep.
start doing like, and then he goes, well, here, I can't do this. Here you go. And then he'll take another piece and go, and he goes, well, here, I'll let you finish it. And I'm like, dude, why even help? Sometimes
Yeah.
why even help? I could just do it myself, but at least he tries.
He tries. It took a long time to give up control because Brian will cut a lot of things for me because he likes to go out and play with the laser. And so I'll be like, since you're out there, do you want to cut this file for me? And he will. But it took a long time for me to relinquish that kind of control. Because I mean, I used to hand cut all of my signs. So, and he was like, absolutely not. I will not play with that laser, or like, I will not hand cut. So he thought I was a crazy person, thought I was going to cut my dang fingers off all the time. So I was a little bit crazy, but I loved cutting. I miss hand cutting it, to be honest with you, sometimes. But if I was to try and hand cut all of these all the time, I'd be so behind on orders.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you definitely outgrow sometimes, and it's a good thing. But it's nice to know where your roots are. I feel like it's kind of humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, but it makes it nice because I can teach you all. Like if you wanted me to teach you guys how to do a jigsaw or the bandsaw, totally help you out, and do that because I know how.
Those are all my tools, the jigsaw, the table saw, the bandsaw. Those are all my tools.
They are mine too. I begged for them for birthday presents, all
So
sorts
did
of
I,
stuff.
yeah.
My
I
husband's dad thought I was a crazy lunatic when I was asking for it. And he's like, you are good because I'm accident prone.
Oh, God.
And so he's like, you are going to cut your fingers off. And I promised him I wouldn't. And, knock on wood, I've come close a few times, but I have not done it. Okay, so the little dots in his eyes, I'm going to get these real quick. I'm just going to use the back of my brush. And you know what? I think we're going to do one little dots. There. Oh, sorry, guys. There is our cute little friend. He is basically all done. Highlighting, I know you guys always ask this question, or I get asked this, not you guys in general. I kind of like to feel like where that light's going to come in, where it's going to give a little bit more pop is kind of where I tend to put it. I wanted it on the little polka dots because I just wanted the top of him to really pop to give a little bit more focus, but you did these ones, it's going to draw you in and you're not going to be able to see everything. So your eyes are going to look here and then it's going to pull down kind of thing. When we get the glitter in here, it's really going to make this your center and you're going to look at that and then look out. If you get too much, it's going to make your eyes kind of go all crazy and you're not going to know where to look. So that's kind of how I do the highlighting. I never let my brush fully touch at points. It's kind of just light little strokes with the liner. That's kind of how I do it. Okay, let's glitter and we will call it good. Because I'm sure you guys are probably sick of me. Holy crap, I have kept you guys for a long time. I'm sorry. Holy Hannah. Hey, this is a new glitter. Hopefully I don't like have an epic accident here. Yep, like that. Shoot. Okay, that actually was better than what I thought could happen there. Okay, that is on. I got this, where did I get this? I got this at Michael's, actually. There's my Mod, it's like right in front of my face. Okay. Another thing, like I always like to mention, you are playing with glue when you are playing with Mod Podge. So make sure that you've got old brushes that you don't necessarily care about, because it will get into those bristles and you're not going to get it out. So I'm just going to go lightly around this. I'm not caring to get full coverage of all of the brown. I'm just getting a little bit. We'll probably just do give and then glitter, because if you let your Mod Podge dry out too much, it will go clumpy on you and you won't get that really pretty coverage with it. So I work in small little sections when I do glitter. So throw this on there. Ooh, I love that color. What do you guys think? That cute?
That's pretty.
Because you know me, you guys, we gotta glitter it up.
I was gonna say, that's your signature, is the glitter girl.
It is, it really is. I love glitter. My first signs, believe it or not, did not have glitter when I first started. And then I started playing with the glitter. And Lori was like, there's your signature. You cannot go back. You got to always add it. So it's very few of my signs that you'll see that don't have glitter now. Even
But
some
it
of my old ones, I've revamped them a little bit and added the glitter.
But I think it looks pretty. Like, it's like a highlight.
I think so too. I wanted glitter, but you know, when you're poor and you're first starting out, you have lots of wants and you can't always add all of the things at once. So the glitter collection started coming out and I always wanted to do it, but didn't know, you know, how it would be received, because some people are just not glitter people. I don't know how you cannot be, but I understand, I guess.
Well, Ellen DeGeneres is not a glitter person.
Right? And I love my glitter. I love Ellen. We can get along. I may not understand, but I'll get along with you.
Oh, yeah.
I know that Shantae, I think Shantae told me that she's not too glittery, but she's like, but I love your signs. She's like, and they don't come off. So my secret for the glitter, just FYI, so when you get my signs, the glitter really won't come off unless you really start picking at it. Is it going to come off? So I use the clear spray, semi-satin, non-yellowing. I use Rust-Oleum or Krylon, whatever ones I can get my hands on. Lately, Amazon likes the Rust-Oleum, so that's one I've been using. But I spray the glitter, spray this, and then spray one more time where the glitter's at, and it keeps it put. And I haven't had a problem with it. I haven't had customers come back and say, your signs shed glitter. So there we go. There's our cute little friend.
That came out really cute.
I am so excited for how he turned out. I got to do a big door hanger for him I have a event coming up this weekend. So I thought I'd hurry and get one done for him.
Yeah, he'd be cute, big. Yeah.
Very cute.
Thank you, guys. I'll make sure I show pictures of the door hanger for you guys. But thank you for staying with me. I can't believe I went over so much because I was chitty chatty.